right. It looks like we're live now, I think. Yes, now we are. The room is now locked and
Perfect.
live. Hey everybody, what is going on? It's me, it's Chris Spade over at Keller Williams Realty, and I'm with a new friend of mine. We kind of stumbled into our friendship just recently. Lauren Rockel from Grand Rapids, Michigan. She's an agent at Keller Williams Realty in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we kind of had this idea to interview agents all across the country so you could see what you could get in a different part of the country. Because as we know, San Diego's a little expensive. And I just did one of these with Lauren, and she saw how
I'm still gagged. I'm like,
how expensive. I know, right? It's a little crazy. So Lauren, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
yeah, absolutely. Hello, everybody. As Chris said, my name is Lauren Rockel. I live over in Grand Rapids, Michigan. For people that are familiar with us Michiganders, as we are called, that means I live over here. So we look at our little map, and this is Michigan, a hand. I'm over here, so Lake Michigan's right here, and then boop, that's where Grand Rapids, Michigan is. It's a lot of fun. I've been with Keller Williams now for a little over, it's been about 3.5 years. I've been in real estate for 3.5 years and with Keller Williams for the same amount of time. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. I do most of my transactions in Grand Rapids city limits. I love historic homes and downtown living. So I think that wraps it up a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. So I showed you a few minutes ago some of the properties that we have for sale in San Diego in different price points. And it was a struggle for me to find some houses in certain price points. And so here in California, we're kind of having a mass exodus of people leaving for a couple of reasons. One, the pandemic, they want to get out because,
Right.
I mean, like we've been pretty locked down, like Michigan has, our governors kind of have the same philosophy. And people they just want to get out and live in a cheaper spot. So take us around. What can we get in your city?
Screen share, has the time come?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please
So,
do.
yeah, for everybody that's watching from San Diego, you're going to be shocked. Feast your eyes on the Grand Rapids market. So, here, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see my
My little
face
Grand
on
Rapids back sheet out because I was trying to figure out what our main jobs are. But anyway, so here we are. I pulled up our MLS, and this is not even the least expensive. I'm trying to pull up some homes that are maybe in areas that people would be interested in living in. This one's outside of a location, an area called Alger Heights, which is becoming pretty popular. So here we have, ready for this, Chris? A 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath home for $147 a square foot.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
right, are you dying? It's pretty crazy. Let's take a look at what it looks like inside. I actually haven't even gone through the photos, but so yep, little colonial. I always call these houses like butt houses because this just reminds me of a little shelf butt. But just this is a very typical Grand Rapids home. There's a little dining area, little kitchen. They have some stools going on, a little half bath. This is pretty typical for around that 170 mark in Grand Rapids. Now, I will say most of the time they are ending in bidding wars and going over list price. So I don't know what this one will end up selling for, but listed at 170. I should be making you guess like you did to me, quite honestly. But okay, so here's another one. This one's on Merrifield, and this one was built in 1935. I am a huge fan, like I mentioned, of the historic homes. I also learned that you guys don't have basements there, so
No, we don't.
Yeah, most of the homes here do have basements. We have full basements or Michigan basements. Michigan basements look more like cellars. They're utilized more for, you would really just go down there in the event of a tornado, quite honestly, or maybe store some stuff up on plastic shelves because they get wet. So there's even more square footage than what's showing. But Here's another, see, very similar, just like the last one. Wood floors, arches, pretty standard kitchen. And this one was listed at $219,900. It has been on the market for 0 days thus far, 1,500 square feet. And we're looking at $142 a square foot again. Yeah, very different, right?
It's different.
Favorite. I've been eyeing this one. Of course, the photo is not going to come up now, but that's okay. This one's a little bit more for the square footage, 174 a square foot. We're getting bougie. 3 bed, 2.5 baths. So this one is in an area called Belknap. It's kind of the northeast side of Grand Rapids. And there's a lot more like historic kind of vibed homes over there, more of the original woodwork.
It's so pretty. See,
yeah, this is very
much. That kitchen's amazing.
Isn't it?
Like that kitchen is legit amazing.
Yeah, this is very my aesthetic. And this is kind of more what you get as you get up towards like the northeast side, even on the northwest side of Grand Rapids. I live on the west side. We always say west side is the best side, but truthfully, this side is probably the best side. I love this location.
So that's what would you call that house? What kind of architecture is that?
I mean, this is technically, I think this would be considered a bungalow, but it feels almost, I'm not even like kind of like, not quite, it's like Tudory, but maybe like Art Deco. It's kind of fun. This one was built in the early 1900s, so it's probably more.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it might even be a 4-square. I couldn't really get the feel for the layout, but oh, there we go. Yeah, this would just be considered traditional.
And it's 200 and how much?
That one's $239,900. It just got listed, so it is probably going to go over, especially because it has 2 full bathrooms. We don't get a lot of that, 2 full baths.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I did pull up this one over in East Grand Rapids. So East Grand Rapids is one of the more sought after school districts. This is like our little bougie neighborhood in Grand Rapids. Property taxes are quite a bit more, so we'll see a jump here. The price is obviously quite different, but you can see that the property taxes here are $1,600, and then we go over to East Grand Rapids, and this one's not homestead, so really these taxes are probably closer to $7,000 a year, but a little more money. And these are, I think you can kind of get the feel for kind of what the houses look like in Grand Rapids. They're all have some similarities, but.
Well, you know what I think is cool is that in the price points that we kind of talked about before we did this, you have detached houses for pretty much every price point.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't here. You know, that under $200,000 price point, you have to go way east San Diego County to get something, you know, under 200,000, and we're talking like a 50-mile drive out.
Right.
So it's significant. So it's refreshing to be able to see that you can, you know, you can get a nice little house for around $200,000.
Now the thing, like I mentioned, is we do have we're in a multiple offer market too. I mean, we had a listing on our team recently that had 55 offers. We listed on a Thursday, and by Monday we had 55 offers on the home. So it is competitive. The single family home market is a lot more competitive than our condo market here. For some reason, condos just they're not as appealing in our market. I still love condos. I think they're great. And quite honestly, I would have one myself if it wasn't for my dogs, because I just don't really enjoy the home maintenance factor of owning a home. So this one is a little bit more north as well. This is still Grand Rapids, but we're Forest Hills Schools. So that one's $630,000, and this is like pretty big house. This one's over 3,000 square feet above grade, meaning above the basement. I don't know if that is a different verb. Built in 2014. Here we have a historic home built in the late 1800s. 6,656 square feet, 10 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. And this one's still, you know, 700,000.
Wow, for 10 bedrooms, you said?
bedrooms and 7 bathrooms.
Wow, that's insane.
Look at this inlaid
Oh
wood
my
and
God,
everything. It's,
that house is
this
just gorgeous.
is, I would do some terrible things to own this home.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest about it.
This is a little creepy, though, I'll be honest. Just a room for your ferns, but yeah, these are the homes.
Beautiful.
It's pretty remarkable, yeah. And then lastly, I pulled this one too, just for fun, so I could pretend I'm one of you guys. Very, very different size for a home compared to you. I mean, this one, you're getting 6,000 square feet for $1.5 million.
Whoa.
Yeah, almost an acre of land, and this is in East Grand Rapids as well. So it's on Reed's Lake, which is the lake over in East. And yeah, I mean, this is what you can get for $1.5 million in the Grand Rapids area. And
how many square feet is that?
I think this one was, I thought it was 6,000 total, so 4,600 above grade, and then with the finished portion of the basement, it's 6,100 total. And this is lakefront, so yeah, I mean, you can definitely get a lot for your money in Grand Rapids compared to San Diego, but you also have to be willing to freeze your butt off half of the year.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Like, so, you know, it's cold. I'm from Minnesota, so I get the temperature in Michigan. I mean, it's kind of similar. So what do you do for fun in the middle of winter? Because right now it's middle of February. What is it that you do for fun?
Are you wanting me to be honest with you?
Yes, absolutely. Be honest. If somebody's moving.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I do for fun is very different than what other people do for fun here in Michigan. There's a lot of people that enjoy skiing and cross-country skiing, or, downhill skiing. I don't even know the words for it. Ice fishing. People love ice fishing here.
I've done that.
Have you?
Yes. Yeah. I'm from Minnesota.
Oh gosh, I have.
Oh yeah.
Not ice fished. I accidentally killed a fish when I was little. It swallowed the hook, and I'm going to spare the details, but no.
Yeah.
So, but me personally, I'm not a huge fan of being cold. So if it were not for the pandemic, we have a lot of amazing farm to table restaurants in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is home to one of the top culinary institutions in the entire nation. It's number 3 in the whole entire country, which is pretty cool. And a lot of the restaurants during the winter, they'll put out fire tables and stuff, and you can sit outside and eat or get a hot toddy or whatever. I'm more of that kind of person in the winter than go and actually enjoy the snow kind of person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's just me.
Well, yeah. Cool. So tell us, what is the median income for somebody moving to Grand Rapids, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so when we're talking just Grand Rapids proper, not East Grand Rapids or, outskirts of Grand Rapids, because we have so many cities here. But in Grand Rapids, we're looking at typically the average household income is going to be a little over $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so definitely a lower household income here as well. That does change, of course, as you move into East Grand Rapids, and different areas in Grand Rapids are going to be a bit different, but across the board is about $50,000.
Okay, and what type of jobs are out there? So if somebody's thinking, you know what, I love San Diego, I love the beach, but I got to get out of here. I just can't afford a house. I want to move somewhere like Grand Rapids. What types of jobs are in your area for people to consider?
I like to think that we have a little bit of everything. Our biggest industries are going to be medical. We have medical mile here, Spectrum hospitals, so people do come in from all over for that. We have a few large engineering firms, and we have an Amazon headquarters. We also used to be furniture manufacturers. That was what Grand Rapids was back in the day, and we still have Steelcase and Herman Miller. So those are pretty big for us still. Amway is here. There's a lot of manufacturing stuff.
Okay.
But we also, I think people don't realize when they think of Michigan, I feel like people either think of like crops or Detroit, and there's like no in between. But Grand Rapids is actually the second largest city in Michigan. We're pretty populated, and there is a little bit of everything.
Okay, very cool. So, what's one thing that your city is really known for that most people would not know?
Okay, that's a really good question. I think I had told you earlier that we're like beer capital USA, which is pretty big. But the coolest thing I think is Grand Rapids is home to one of the world's largest art competitions.
Really?
So we have something called Art Prize. Yeah, and it happens every other year, and our whole entire city turns into a canvas, basically. Artists come and put up their artwork in our rivers even. They paint murals on the side of our buildings, and then they stay forever. I mean, it just spans through all of Grand Rapids and the restaurants, and people travel from all over the world to come to our art competition.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well,
yeah,
that's
we're
cool.
a whole bunch of hipsters over in
I
Grand
love
Rapids. I don't know what to tell
it. I love it. My neighborhood is filled with them too. Everybody's got keys hanging off their belt, and yeah, it's awesome.
I know. I'm always like, am I one of them? Am I a hipster? I don't know.
No, I don't know that I am. I think I'm too old to be one, but you know, hey, whatever. Love the area. Well, listen, Lauren, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. So if you guys are thinking of moving to Grand Rapids or any of the surrounding cities, get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with Lauren so she can help find you a new home. And it looks like you have a lot to choose from, like as far as, you know, you don't have to live in a condo is what I'm trying to say if you don't want to.
No,
you get a house.
You do not need to live. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'm sure I'll talk to you very soon.
I'll talk right after this. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.